let me sing a little bit about Manny. He's a second generation hat maker. Lives out on I-35, making them hats for me and you. He's a hell of a guy, tell you the reason why. He's always got a smile on his face and an interesting story to tell. He runs Texas Hat as a hat shop. Makes boots too. He's got a whole little village out there. He's the mayor of the crossroads outside of Buda, Texas. Best thing about Manny is he's married to beautiful Norma. All right.
So, when did you first start as the Gammage father and all that?
Oh, I met Marvin Gammage Sr. at a little hat shop on around 19th and Guadalupe, I believe. One of the first times I was in Texas, about 1964, 65, 64. I was wandered into a hat shop. I always wanted some kind of Texas hat. I think everybody wants to see at least how they look on your head. And I wanted something like a Tom Mix type hat or something. And at that time, Manny Sr. was making them with kind of like LBJ specials when Lyndon Johnson was popular. And he was kind of just making them up and putting them out. They were real nice quality hats and everything made up, but it wasn't as kind of as free form as we think of hat making might be nowadays. I mean, that's what's nice about a custom hatters is you can go in and get any way, shape, size dealie that you want. And I think it was much quieter around the store than it is at the present time. In fact, it was so quiet then there was, wasn't much shaking at all. And I kind of came in and said, I'd like to have something made like something in these pictures. We got some old books out and did it, and I wanted something with a curve to it and a little curl brim and stuff. And so I think that was the beginning of it. And then after that, the next time I came into the shop, by then, the Manny we all knew and loved in the store now was back from Vietnam, and he was stepping in, and I think I got a hat made then, and then I was even wilder. And people started coming to the shows and seeing me, and then going to Manny's and saying, hey, can you make me a hat like Jerry Jeff's doing? He's saying, I can make that one, or I can make you one like this. And then I think Manny started taking pictures of him then to keep a record of what he was doing, and other people could see him. And then it got to be where they also got the older molds and got the old-timey stretchers. He bought out a couple old stores that had, I guess you have all that information.
Well, we'd love to hear you say it again, though, sometime.
Oh, okay. I don't really know all that. And then I started terrorizing the stores a lot, coming in and hanging around, and it's fun.
Why is it so much fun at Manny's shop?
Well, he kept beer in the refrigerator and iced tea and sodas, and we'd come by and we'd always get hung up, and there's always somebody there that's it's like it used to be going to Lukenbach. You're bound to meet either a biker or a judge or a cab driver or a cowboy, or you never know. And I just always know that it's going to take longer than I think it is to get my hat out of there when I'm there. In fact, a lot of times I have to get mine on the way to the airport. Maybe I'm leaving, my hat's gotten screwed up or something, I need to take a hat out. So I call in advance and tell them to get it all ready. We'll crease it when I get there. So I'll make sure it's blocked and everything else. And then I come dashing in the door and we steam it together, and we use Manny's belly to curve it and all that. And then that still takes me about half an hour. That's a half an hour well spent.
You said something about the old friend models. Could you talk about that again?
Yeah. See, like what I would do is I'd always go in the back and where they keep all the shells, which the hats are called when they're like that, kind of lumpy before you put grease in them. And I would get the older shells because they were always the softest. They were real soft. And I would, they always kind of to your head, and they're real flumpy and fluffy, and when they're real new, they're kind of stiff. They make this kind of sound, and I like them. And so we find that, and then Manny starts, I said, I want to feel like an old friend. I used to notice, too, that when these old cowboys come in and get their hats cleaned, then when they'd get them back, they'd say, this isn't my hat. Because it would kind of be all new now. So the old friend was what we started calling these models that were already kind of beat up when you got them. Well, they just weren't so stiff. And that became an idea for a model we called the old friend, which is just sort of a bigger version of it.
Gary P. Nunn told us a story about how he learned about Manny, and that is that you took all the band members when he was with your band and bought them Christmas hats for Christmas. Why don't you tell us about that?
I remember. I always leave Gary's there the way it is. I think I remember something about it. I don't know exactly.
How do you pass the word about Manny's hats?
A lot of times I've thrown them into the crowd. And that made Manny real mad at the beginning because we spent a lot of time making them, and then I convinced him that it was good advertisement for the store. It's a good thing on my part. And people see my hats while I'm on the road, ask me about them, and I tell them about, do you have that handmade for today? Well, I think it's neat to be able to go to a place that you can start from scratch and talk about a hat that might suit. I think that's really where they really shine, is for people that really haven't had one, and then you don't know if you want a real small one, or you want a real big one, or you want maybe something that's not particularly straight cowboy. This one here that I got is not, don't think this particularly is Western. It's kind of got a Western top, but it's not real pinched like a cowboy hat. It's not, and I just wanted one so when I'm playing in Pennsylvania or Seattle, Washington, or places like that, that people, when I want to sing a cowboy song, I can sing one, but if I want to sing one about something maybe happened in an urban situation, people aren't, I'm not really riding horses for a living, and I think that when you could go to a custom hat place and have one made to sort of any little variation you wanted, that made it more personal to you, and you carry that with you, and they make the, I think that's something that means a lot to him, and I think we're growing up around here. That's the way he grew up, real close to his family. I had a lot of people in my family that drifted off, I guess. That's why I'm a drifter. He had families that, I don't know the complete inner workings of the hat maker's mind, but I know that that's something that he likes to counts as his accomplishments, is being able to have family that's grown up and have an interest in the same things he's done. I think he's also showed that the type of business that he's in can be interesting to his children too. It's certainly not a dull thing where you stamp out one hat at a time. I think that's the fun that Manny's found in it, the life that he's been able to explore in there and have friends come through the door, and I'm sure it's just a joy to go to work every day knowing, geez, Joe Jeff may come in the door today and answer my phone and terrorize my customers.
Well, there's a legacy that Manny is sort of spreading out and leaving to his family and to us, I think. I don't know if you've ever thought about that or not. Well, for one thing, he does hats the old way.
Yeah, I think in storytelling, see, I used to tell people, they say, well, what's nice, charming about Texas? I said, well, I got to do 2 or 3 errands in a day, I know I'm going to get hung up somewhere along the way. And I think that it's nice to be able to go into a place like that. I'm going to do a little business, and I'm going to have a little pleasure along the way. And storytelling goes along with it, and shooting the breeze, and meeting somebody you haven't met, and spending a few minutes having that sort of intercourse where it's not so cut and dry as money down, thank you, and I leave, or not even a thank you, and where we kind of get to almost get pulled out the door to leave. We got other things to do, we better get going. So I think that's a Texas tradition of kind of personality swap as well as just an interchange of business. And I've always valued started that part of it. If that's the tradition that you're saying that he's passing on, I think that's a family tradition too. It's a family business, that part.